Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 85 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. Cannot believe I made it to day 85. I have 15 days left to go. That is so crazy, blowing my mind. Nowhere near where I wanted to be with my writing, which probably should not surprise me. But I was thinking about it today. I had a conversation with someone at work tonight, and I had this realization. It's about words, which I think kind of goes with writing. But it's words, it's things that I tell myself. It's how I view my life and my situation, and my perceptions, my perspective often have a bearing on how I treat myself, how I feel about myself, how I respond to my day. And so today I was saying that, I was talking to this person, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm lazy. I don't get up until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then I stopped myself as I'm talking to her. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not really lazy, because I don't usually get off of work until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't get home until 3 or 4 in the morning. I don't usually go to bed until 5 or 6. So if I go to bed at 5 or 6 in the morning, getting up at 1 or 2 in the afternoon is not lazy. That's like getting 8 hours of sleep or 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which is what I need in the way of sleep. So it's just not, it's not what I think my ideal schedule should be. It just happens to be what I'm doing and how my schedule is working right now. And it works. For the most part, it works, except for days when I have to get up early, which is by choice, obviously. I just have other commitments. Which wouldn't be so bad if I'd actually go to bed earlier, which wouldn't be so hard if I'd get all my stuff done before I go to work. So I need to change the order in which I do things. And I've mentioned that in my videos, and I just struggle to get myself to make those changes. And I kind of, was realizing tonight I need to stop beating myself up for not doing things perfectly, or for not doing them in some order that I imagine will be better than the order that I'm currently doing them in. Because if what I'm doing is working, why am I trying to change it? And if it's not working, then what can I do to fix it? What can I do to make it better? And so I was kind of thinking about that tonight, and realizing that, when I decide to relax or play some games, or like, oh, I have a little extra free time, I'm just going to enjoy myself, and then I end up spending way too much time doing it. I think part of it is, a little lack of motivation to get stuff done. And part of it is just that I get that feeling after a while if I've wasted like an hour. And it's not necessarily wasted. If I play games on my phone for like an hour, which is not a bad thing, it's just relaxing, free time, whatever, for myself. I need to allow myself to have that fun and that free time. And instead, I'm like, I feel like I wasted that, and then I wasted that, I wasted more time, and then I get disappointed, I get discouraged, and I turn in this, negative cycle instead of this positive cycle, and things that I'm grateful for. And then it makes it harder for me to want to get up and do stuff, because I already wasted this much time, and then I keep wasting more time. It's like that crazy vicious cycle. Instead of looking at it as like, okay, well, that was some free time, that was fun, and now it's time to get on and do something else. And so today I did do a little bit of writing before I went to work. Not really on my books, so I wasn't going to count it. And now it's really late and I have to get up really early, so I'm going to count it. And I had the thought that God was telling me I should just count that for my writing and do my video before I go to work. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just do actual writing. I want to do actual writing. I want to, and it is part of writing. And then I was thinking I'm just being lazy, or I'm coming up with all these excuses. And I was like, no, I'm learning about myself, and I am learning different ways to write. And I am finding ways to help motivate myself to continue to work on my writing, and to figure out what I'm willing to write or what I'm willing to work on. And learning that it's okay to kind of, bounce around and work on different things, give myself a break from one thing to work on something else, so I don't get burned out on any one thing. And that I am one of those, I don't know, my mind just doesn't stay on one thing for too long. I get bored easily, so I like to bounce around and have different things to do. And I love that I've discovered lots of different things that I can write and that I can do. And again, it's that realization that, one, it makes my writing more fun when I do that. It makes it more enjoyable, which I like. And two, it's that reminder that, what I say, the words that I use for other people and to myself, when I say nice things to myself, I feel good about myself, I'm motivated, I want to do things. And when I don't say nice things to myself, I get depressed, discouraged. And sometimes it's not necessarily good or bad or nice or not. It's like it's saying wasted time instead of free time. It's saying, being lazy instead of I just have a different schedule than what I guess I think the normal person would have. I mean, I don't have an 8 to 5 job. I don't have to be to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to get out of bed at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when I go to bed. So my schedule is different from other people's schedules. And that's not a bad thing. And it doesn't make me lazy. It just means I have a different schedule. And I can work my schedule around other people's schedules so that we can meet and do stuff with my friends or for doctor's appointments or just, for whatever I need to do. My schedule is flexible and I can adjust it, which is a good thing. And I like being able to do that. But it's, I do sleep in later than other people that I know because I work later than other people that I know. So it's my schedule. I set it that way. I am a night owl. This is, what works for me. And I keep trying to fight what works for me to try to do what I think is the normal version or what I think everyone else would want me to do. And not that I revamped my schedule or anything like that for writing today. Today I was thinking I'm creating unrealistic goals again. And then I had to stop myself again tonight after that conversation and realize it doesn't mean that they're unrealistic goals. I may be setting unrealistic timetables in which I can accomplish the goals, or maybe I'm giving myself the opportunity to focus on something. And as I focus on trying to accomplish these goals by writing them down, I chose to write them down so I can look at them and be like, okay, these are my goals. These are things that I would like to accomplish. This is the time frame in which I'd like to accomplish it. And it gives me the opportunity to allow God to work through me to create the miracles. Because if I go to work, if I do the things that I'm committing myself to do and praying and trusting that God will help me, then the miracles can happen. And maybe some of my things will actually get met or finished. And even if they don't, it'll be like my videos that I'm doing. Maybe I didn't get a book published in the 100 or 200 days that I've been doing videos, but I have discovered a lot of things about myself. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my writing. I've learned a lot about how to maintain a positive attitude and have an attitude of gratitude. I'm learning how to say nicer things to myself, be gentler with myself, and realizing that even after all these things that I've learned, I still say things that I twist into a negative context, like playing games is wasted time instead of just free time, or just relaxing, just a way to unwind, which is what all of it is. And that's not a bad thing. Everyone's entitled to have something they do to unwind or to relax or to just not think for a few minutes about something important, just a little mind numbing to, unwind, let go of the day and those sort of things. And it's not a bad thing. I think I take it to the extreme, and then I don't like that I take it to the extreme, and then I just start a negative cycle because I start thinking of all the things I could have accomplished in the amount of time that I was playing those games. And I was like, well, maybe I wasn't meant to accomplish those things today, or maybe my day would have turned out exactly the same way, and it doesn't matter. and I have no way of knowing. And so beating myself up over what could have, should have, whatever, I don't even know what should have been. I don't know what could have been. It could have turned out exactly the same way. I have no control over all of those things, other people, outside influences. I have control over how I choose to respond to situations and how I choose to respond to myself. And today is just kind of one of those realizations that I have choices, and I don't always make choices that are, I guess, the most uplifting or positive, or maybe I just don't use the nicest words to myself, which perpetuates the negative thinking and makes it harder for me to want to motivate myself to do things. And I don't think I always am aware, like consciously aware that I'm saying these things, or it's like another one of those stupid default settings where it's like I just say while I'm being lazy when I don't get everything accomplished that I wanted to for the day, or if I don't do stuff that I think I need to do. or should have done, that I'm like, oh, I was just being lazy today. And I was like, how is that being lazy if I slept for 7 hours instead of 4? Maybe I needed the extra sleep. How is that being lazy because I sat and relaxed and played a game to try to just, declutter my brain for a second when I'm ready to like face the rest of my day. Uh, I don't know. I've like had a long day. I just want to unwind. I want to do something. And so I need to stop putting those labels on myself. And so today I would realize that when I was talking to someone else, which I think was just a God thing to point that out because I'm saying it out loud and then I'm like, wait, I'm not really being lazy. Why do I keep saying that? Why do I keep thinking that? So it's just one more thought process that I need to work on changing and try to replace with something more positive. Like, okay, I'm allowed to have a little free time. Maybe I should put some free time into my schedule, some playtime, some fun time, because everybody needs to have a little fun. Everyone needs to enjoy something or have something to look forward to. And so my list of things that I wrote down today had more to do with like finances, not really with finances. It was more things that I would like to be able to have or to purchase. So I kind of wrote down what they were. I wrote down how much I think it's going to cost me and kind of, when I would like to be able to purchase them by. And so that was kind of my writing for today, but it's also kind of my goals because that way I'm hoping it will help me when it comes to like spending my money. I'm like, oh, I don't need to spend my money on this because I'm saving it for this because it's written down. It's something that I can tangibly see because I know in the back of my mind I have like a running list of things in my head all the time, but there's something about writing it down. There's something about looking at it, having it tangibly there and being like, okay, I don't feel like going to work today. Ooh, but if I go to work and I make some extra money, I can put it towards this thing that I want to get. Okay, there's a purpose, there's a goal in that. If I sit down, if I work on my writing, if I work on this, then I get that much closer to publishing a book or finishing a book or whatever it is. So if I look at my goals, which I don't do, I need to do, and I have written some of them down, but it helps me to realize that I can work towards those things, and even some of those things that I feel like are maybe outside my control. There are things that I can still put myself out there. There's things that I can do, and then God can create the miracles, and He can help make those things happen if that's what's meant to be in my life. And if it's not, then He can point me in a different direction and say, okay, Midge, over here, or okay, that was a good goal, that was a nice effort, but I have something different in mind for you, and that's okay. Um, but if I don't start asking God what He wants me to do, or I don't start putting it down and working towards something, I'm not going to know if I'm hitting, a whole bunch of brick walls or whatever it is. And I think a lot of me just gets that negative thing where I just don't deserve it, or I just can't afford it, or I don't have the energy. I always have like a gazillion excuses. And by writing it down, by making it look like seeing that it's tangible, seeing that it's doable, and some of the things that I want are actually doable within the time frame I want. Some of the things I want, I'm not entirely sure if they're doable in the time frame I want, but I won't know if I don't try. And so I'm like, okay. And the same goes with the list that I did, I think, for New Year's of my wants. And I'm like, and they're unrealistic. And I'm thinking, you know what? They're not as unrealistic as I think they are. I just am choosing not to do things to work towards them. And some of them are going to take, not be able to accomplish in this year. It may take 5 to 10 years to accomplish, but they're accomplishable. They're goals that can be met. They're things that I can actually do if I work at it. And so it's kind of, by writing these things down, it kind of makes them tangible in a way that it's like, okay, maybe it is doable. It lays it out. So instead of it being stuck in my head, instead of there being the excuse, oh, I can't afford it, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, it doesn't look, whatever, whatever it is, I'm like, I can write it down and I can look at it and I can be like, okay. So I think setting goals definitely counts for writing. I mean, there are things that I've wanted. There's things I've wanted for a long time, and I just haven't. And some of them are things that I need, and I've needed for a long time, and I'm very good at just ignoring my needs, especially if they cost money and I don't have the money for them, like, the need for new clothes. So these are things that I would like to get, things that I probably need to get, running out of t-shirts and old t-shirts and getting holes in things. So I mean, they're things I need. But there are things that I put off because they cost money or they cost time, and I can make the time for things that are important for me. And I've seen that because I feel like I waste my time and I could use it for other things. But I don't have to look at it as wasting time. I don't have to beat myself up because that's the attitude I have for the day or that's the mood that I'm in. I just need to learn to listen better as to how I'm feeling, why am I feeling this way, and what can I do to move forward. And I need to remember those questions every day, and I need to start writing them down, and I need to start asking myself those questions. How do I feel today? Why do I feel this way today? What am I going to do to move forward? And hopefully, because I mean, some days I wake up and I'm in a good mood and I'm ready to just go to work and do whatever. And other days I'm just like, I did not get enough sleep. My alarm's going off. I didn't sleep well. I just don't want to get out of bed and start my day, but I don't want to stay in bed any later because I feel like I'm being lazy. So then I got to get up. And then I just kind of migrate from my bed to my couch and I play games and I'm not any more productive. So I need to learn how to face those emotions, how to talk to myself, how to figure out what's going on with myself so that I can have better days, or that when I start out not in the best of moods when I wake up, that I can start moving and motivating myself to do things, to start looking at my little motivational board that I have with all of my little quotes and things, to look over my goals, to see where I'm at, to realize that things are not as overwhelming or as heavy or discouraging as I think that they are, and remind myself that I have plenty of time to accomplish the things I want to accomplish. And just because it's not happening as quickly as I want it to, or it's not happening in the way that I want it to, doesn't mean that things aren't happening in my life. It doesn't mean that I'm not learning, that I'm not growing, that I'm not changing, because I'm doing all of those things. It's just taking me way longer than I wanted to. I very much so, like, I get the idea in my head and then I get excited about it and then I want it to just magically happen. And I, again, just don't want to go through the process. I don't want to wait, or I'm like, okay, I'll do a couple of days and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it to happen already. Why is this taking so long? And I lose sight of, the goal or the purpose behind it, and I forget that it takes time to get a routine. It takes time to change a routine. It takes time to change habits. It takes time to build new habits. It takes time to work through old things. It takes time to learn new things. I mean, every job gives you like 3 to 6 months to learn something. So I'm like, okay, I spent like 3 months learning gratitude. Done a pretty good job, I think, maintaining gratitude for the past 3 months, and I've still got another 15 days to go to make it, the whole 3 months or 100 days or whatever it is. And I have spent 185 days. I've got 15 to go working on my writing. And I've learned lots of different things that I can write about, lots of different things that I've counted towards my writing. I've learned a lot about how writing affects my attitude, how it helps me to process things. I learned a lot about, words and how I can use words to uplift people. And I can use those same words to uplift myself. But I can also use negative words that can be hurtful to people or hurtful to myself, or just the connotation, the context of things, like wasting time versus free time versus I'm being lazy versus I just have a different schedule, or I just don't start my day until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is fine because I don't go to bed until 5 or 6 in the morning. So I have to remember that it's okay that I don't start my day until later, because that's what seems to be working for me right now. And maybe as I stop beating myself up or calling myself lazy, I'd be like, okay, I'm not being lazy because I'm still in bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's okay because I didn't go to bed until 6 o'clock in the morning. So these are things that I need to remember. And if my body is letting me sleep for 7 hours, oh my gosh, this is a good thing. I need to remember what a good thing this is, because I know for the longest time I was only sleeping for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And then I would get up and then I would do stuff and then I would be tired and I would take a nap, or I would push myself through the day and I'm like functioning on 4 to 5 hours of sleep and I'm not really functioning. So the fact that my body will let me sleep like 7 hours straight is pretty awesome. The fact that I'm like tired and trying to let myself sleep for the amount of time that I need it means that I'm learning to listen to my body. I'm listening to myself. I'm letting myself get some sleep. I'm trying to take better care of myself. I'm at least trying to be aware. What is it? That awareness, acceptance, action. And I think I'm coming up on the acceptance part. I'm like, I'm aware that this is what I'm doing. I need to accept that this is what I'm doing. I need to accept that maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's not exactly what I want. Maybe it can be better, but it's better than it was. I mean, sleeping 7 hours is better than 5 hours or 4 hours. So I'm probably only gonna get 5 hours of sleep tonight because I have to get up early in the morning. But that's okay. But I can make that up another time, or I can take a nap, or I can do whatever I need to do so that I feel rested later. And I'm grateful that doing these videos and doing writing helps me to put things into a different perspective and to see that it's okay, that my goals aren't necessarily unrealistic. Maybe my timelines are unrealistic. It just doesn't sound like a real word because I keep saying it or something. It's so random. Oh, it just sounds funny to me. Sorry. But that maybe, or maybe my goals are realistic. I just need to spend more time focusing on working towards them. And I need to stop giving up somewhere in the middle because I haven't obtained them yet. And I need to remember that things happen in God's time and not mine. And that as I continue to do the work, that God can do the miracles and He can work miracles through me. And that I am capable of more than I give myself credit for. So maybe all these things that I want to do or have in my life are perfectly attainable. I just need to accept that they are attainable, that I can work towards them, that I can have them. I'm just not going to have them tomorrow. It's going to take some time. But they can happen in my life. I just have to be willing to put forth the efforts. And some days I'm just really not willing. and then some days I just feel really frustrated because I'm not accomplishing all the things that I want to. And I keep forgetting that it takes time to change, time to build things into my life, time to rebuild energy. And what I could do 20 years ago, I can't do today. My body just doesn't respond the same way. And it's gonna take some time to, figure things out. And it's okay to do things slower. I've always done things slower in my life, so I just need to remember to say these nice things to myself, that it's okay, that I'm working, and I don't have to call myself lazy or think that I'm wasting my time because, things aren't working out the way that I want them to, because that's what gets me depressed. That's what gets me discouraged. That's what makes me want to give up and to stop trying. And I'm just grateful that there's that other part of me, that there's God that's just whispering in my ear going, come on, Midge, you can do this. You can do this. You made this commitment. And sometimes I honestly am just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I don't want to, but I'll do it because I made the commitment. And other times I'm just so grateful that I haven't given up. And right now I'm just so grateful I haven't given up. And I just kind of have to laugh because I wrote down my goals earlier today as to what I wanted. And then I had this thought, God just like whispered in my ear going, hey, just use that for your video before you go to work. And I was like, no, I'm going to do some writing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I was like, nah, God knows better. It was right. I should just use it for my video. And I am just using it for my video because I do want to go to bed because one, I'm tired, and two, I know I have to get up early. But I'm grateful that I can use it for my video. I'm grateful I can find things to write about and be creative, and it's not necessarily all in my books. It's not necessarily getting my books published, which I thought. And if I do 100 days of marketing, I'm not sure what I'm going to be marketing, but I think I'll be learning about marketing. I'll be learning about how to put stuff out there. I'll be maybe learn how to do thumbnails for my YouTube videos so that I can get more followers, subscribers, things like that, so I can get monetized and make some money. That would be nice. And maybe so I can get some help, ideas, and things on how to do my books, and maybe in the process of all that, I'll figure out how to do book covers, and I'll figure out how to get my book that I've written published. If I can figure out how to get it edited first, that would be good. Because I'm like, the way the Teachers of Powers is written, I just need it edited. And I might have to make a few minor revisions to it. But I mean, it's that close. Like, it's just been sitting there for over a month. It's ridiculous. So maybe I'll get it done in the next 100 days. Who knows? God knows. But I think if I keep working on writing something every day and working on my gratitude and then just adding something else like marketing or some other thing for 100 days, I don't know, I'll figure it out. And I've got 15 days to figure it out, because I don't want to stop doing these videos, because I think it helps me to process things. And if nothing else, it helps me to see my progress, and it helps me to find ways to be gentle with myself and to remember that I'm doing okay, and I haven't given up. This is kind of my proof that I have not given up on my goals to get my books published. I haven't obtained it yet, but I haven't given up either. And I am grateful for that too. And I am grateful for today, and for anyone that's choosing to watch these videos. And if you like them, you can hit like, subscribe, or you can share with someone else if you think they'll like them too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe do some writing.